Alright now, y'all. So I'm back. You see? Yeah, shout out to that. I had to do me a little something. And now I'm back. Ooh, I eat. Listen, I said they brought them charges down. Listen, that verdict came down, and I was like, oh, what? Take the what and leave the what? Like, this is crazy. And apparently, I wasn't the only one that wasn't prepared. Shout out to that. I said, apparently, I wasn't the only one that wasn't prepared, y'all. Oh my God. Because tell me why. Diddy's attorney, first of all, it's your girl Shay Renee, and I want to welcome everybody back to my channel. Get in here, listen. So, Diddy's attorney, right? He requested that Diddy can go home today. He was like, yeah, let him out. You see, like, just let him out. And tell me why the prosecutor, she wasn't ready for that. You know what I'm saying? The judge was like, okay, Miss Presser Girl, is you gonna argue? What's your argument? You see? Y'all go ahead and argue in front of me today. You know, because the judge was like, we are prepared to be here all day. You see, we got all day. That's what the judge was saying, right? And so, like, the prosecutor, she kind of wasn't ready, you know. Child, so the truth of the matter is, the judge is considering letting him out. Now, I told my pooper stars, all my pooper stars who rock with me, they know. You see, for those that know, they know. I told y'all that if Diddy beats this, I'm gonna be the first one to say it before anybody can say, yeah, you's a bad boy. You see, yeah, shout out to that. He's a bad boy for real, okay? Hey, it just is what it is. Call a thing a thing. I gotta keep it real. Y'all know that. I'm gonna keep it real with myself first and my audience second. Period. Clock it. So shout out to that. But anyway, yeah. And Diddy, I gotta give you your card. You, your team, all of y'all. Y'all bad. You see, yeah, the kind of bad that Michael Jackson was talking about. Shout out to that. I said y'all just gave that. Y'all just gave that today, or should I say overall, you know what I'm saying, in this overall process, like 35 days. 35 days of rocking and rolling and bumping and grinding. You see, like R. Kelly was talking about. So shout out to that. Lord have mercy. Diddy down there beat the feds today, y'all. It's just is what it is. Oh yeah. Beat them fair and square. That we know. You see, that we know. Because I told y'all, I mentioned earlier, like, we don't ever know. You see, it just is what it is. We don't ever know if he did anything dirty. How would we know? You know? But listen, I'm not gonna accuse him of that. I'm not accusing him of that. I'm not trying to defame his character. You know, it just is what it is. Like, the boy is a bad boy. You see, yeah, just go ahead and give him his card, y'all. Hey, y'all. Shout out to y'all for jumping in my comments. Y'all, give Diddy his card. You know, him, his team, all of them, they deserve it. Because at the end of the day, they did beat the feds, okay? Yes. Kinda, sorta, depending on who you ask. Now, speaking of who you ask, right? I've been like, yeah, y'all know I'm in the internet streets. It is what it is. I'm here, there, I'm everywhere to get the tea. And so, like, I noticed that 50 Cent, 50 Cent had basically made a joke yesterday saying that Diddy was gonna get 20 years, okay? And I'm like, that's crazy, but I'm more than willing to bet that like probably his lawyer told him that, like his lawyer was probably like, overall, this is what they really got evidence for that's sticking to me, that's standing out to me. So it is what it is. I knew that transportation stuff was gonna stick too. It just seemed really, really evident. But I keep it real and take it a step further, because y'all know that's what I do here. Like ultimately, y'all, I thought that the RICO was gonna be hard. I did. But I thought the S Raffican was proved. I did. But obviously not to the jurors. So, it is what it is. I keep telling y'all, telling y'all, telling y'all, telling y'all. One thing about court, court is not about what you think. Court is not about what you thought. Court ain't even about what you feel. You see, feelings not included. It's about what you can prove. And I feel like the prosecution, it just is what it is. The Fed's evidence was coming up light. You see, yeah, like on and off. On and off. You see, they didn't take care of their business, y'all. Ultimately, I think they tried though. I think they put up a really good fight, y'all. If you ask me, he was guilty of a lot of this stuff. A lot of it. The bribery included. Yeah, that's right, Amado. We talking about the verdict. The verdict is in. The verdict is in. Diddy down there beat all the charges. The big charges. The big, huge charges. Let's talk about it. He beat the RICO. Oh my God, that boy beat a RICO. That's crazy, right? But at the end of the day, it was weak. It was a very, very weak RICO, right? Talking about baby oil and stuff like that. I mean, let's keep it real. Y'all want to call a thing a thing? Diddy's RICO is one of the weakest RICOs I ever witnessed. But in order for the RICO to stick, he had to have a conspirator. They had to have believed that KK was doing, some of this stuff with him. And I don't know. They just didn't buy it. They didn't buy the bribery, like none of that stuff. So he beat the RICO, which ultimately, y'all, keeping it all the way real, I think the reason why Diddy beat his RICO charge is I think the punishment didn't fit the crime, okay? And I keep talking about that with y'all, but listen, I'm going to talk about it till I'm blue in the face, yeah. Shout out to that, because that's really what I believe. I believe that sometimes, people can believe, because honestly, I think the jury believed it. I do. I think the jury believed that this man was guilty of these crimes, okay? I think most of them believe he was guilty. But I don't think that they believe that the punishment went with the crime. Does that make sense? So, like, I don't feel like the jury was comfortable taking away his whole legacy and the millions and millions of dollars that it accumulated too. I don't believe the jury was comfortable with taking that away from him and giving it to the feds. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Like, I think, ultimately, I think the jury thought he was guilty, but I don't think they was comfortable with giving his stuff away to the feds. It just is what it is. I think the jury was ultimately like, but why do you deserve it? Give it to y'all for what? Like, it didn't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? That didn't make a lot of sense. Especially for the stuff that y'all saying he did. Honestly, I think that's how the jury looked at it. I think the jury also felt like that Diddy's crimes wasn't like life sentencing worthy. You see, Like, you know, you got these big grown people going along with it. You know what I'm saying? You got these big grown people going along with it. And I think that that was hard for the jury to like turn a blind eye to, if you will. That's the truth. Ultimately, I keep telling y'all that, like, even though it was wrong and he had people, the women was complicit, it was still a crime. And I feel like the jury didn't see it that way. The jury didn't see it that way. Hey Armando. So shout out to you for jumping in my comments. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of people keep saying, like, so what now? Is he gonna get time served? He gonna get time served? Absolutely not. You see, he's still looking at some really, really hard time. That's why I'm like, you know, I want to say he beat the feds, but it's kind of hard to say he beat the feds, you know? Especially when the prosecutor got up there today and said, okay, yes, Miss Spencer Kerr did. She got up there and said, we seeking 20 years. We are. We seeking 20 years. That's a lot of time. That is a lot of time. You see? And I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Y'all know I'm very opinionated, highly opinionated. That's why I started this. Shout out to that. It just is what it is. If you ask me, they be giving out too much time. You know, they be giving out too much time. I already told y'all that. In my personal opinion, somebody said 20 years it is. In my personal opinion, I feel like everything Diddy did was like wasn't worth no more than 10 years. 10 years max, you know? You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I think he could have did a little less than 10. 5, you know, 5 years time, 5 years probation, something like that, you know. That's what I think. And that's the thing though. I'm not, you know, I'm not in the legal system, so I can't, you know, I can't gauge it, in other words. But I feel like the people who are in power over that, they need to change it. They need to change it. Or else this type of thing is gonna keep happening. Now I don't know how he was able to do this, y'all. I don't know. I don't know, you know, because you have so many people who, like Diddy, have been convicted, you know. But ultimately, I don't think they had enough evidence in court too. They didn't have enough evidence, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't have enough of Jane and Cassie fighting Diddy. They didn't have no entertainers willing to testify that, like, yeah, she told me that she didn't like, you know what I'm saying, she didn't like doing it, and it was his thing, and you know, she did it, you know, for whatever reasons, but yeah, she really told me. She told me. Like, they didn't have that. You know, they didn't have enough to make this stuff stick like grits. It just is what it is. They had a lot of circumstantial, you know what I'm saying, evidence. Like, for instance, the whole kidnapping thing. You know, they was like, how is this woman saying she was kidnapped, but she was coming and leaving, she was able to go home? That's weird, you know? So the judge was like, yeah, that ain't sticking. You know? Crazy. They just didn't have enough evidence, you know, but To me, they found him guilty on the rhymes with prostitution, you know, which that was clear as day. You know, that was clear as day. And I gotta say, out of all the charges, that one was clear as day. And I knew, because first of all, it's a whole lot of legal experts that keep saying that that's the only charge that they saw really, really sticking like that. And something told me that too yesterday. Once they said that they couldn't agree on the RICO, I was like, oh yeah, they not finding him guilty on that Raffican stuff, you know? Which I get it. I get it. You gotta understand, a lot of people to this day, you see, to this day, don't really know what Raffican is. We kind of still, like, a lot of us are like uneducated on the topic, on the matter. And that's the truth, still to this day. So I feel like that's what happened with that. That all fell down. You see, like Selena Johnson said, Kanye. So it's like, they just, you know, they didn't really have much to go off of. And yes, this was a Fed case, but ultimately, I'm seeing it. You know, the Feds came up short in their evidence. They did. They came up short. Even with all the stuff that they had. You know, I think that it was really, really hard to like get the jury to see this as Raffican. It just is what it is. Like I said, it's so many people that don't even know what that is. Again, in my mind, to me, Raffican is when someone that has been taken against their will is made to have the S word. You know? Well, that wasn't the case in Diddy's case. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't taken against their will. You know, they're not kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? They're not being housed somewhere. They able to come and go as they want to. You know, it was many a times that they could have tried to flee from Diddy. You know, it just is what it is. At least attempted. You know, see, like Cassie would say, when I tried to get away from Diddy, he would have people watching me. You know, he would have people contacting me. They would blow my phone up. That's true. That's really true. But what Cassie never had was like a time that she did flee and got brought back. You know, a time where she bought tickets for Africa. You know what I'm saying? Was trying to never come back. You know, like they didn't have no hard evidence to stick. You know, they needed something to stick, honestly. And like, I don't know, y'all, truth be told, once we seen all these attorneys get on this case, we should have knew something. You know, we should have knew something. And let me tell you what that something is. It was weak. You know what I'm saying? It was weak. Now, we kind of had a good idea because we was like, but what's the point of the baby oil? Can we get to, you know? And it never got there. You know, it never got there. Like, it's serious. It's crazy. Like, for real, like, the feds painted Diddy out to be like a nasty mobster or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that. You know, it wasn't that. Now he is a little crazy seemingly, you know what I'm saying? But that's what people be wanting. You know, like when you're in a position of power, you want to scare people. You know what I'm saying? You want people to be afraid to mess with you like that, you know? But ultimately, I feel like that same fear has came back and bitten him in his butt. You know, it just is what it is. Bit him right on his butt like an apple. Because like that same fear is like the reason why you couldn't get bail and you know all of that, and that same fear might keep him in jail right now because like that's all they have. That is all they have. Other than that, I think, okay, I think it's almost down there like his constitutional right to get bail and be let out. Child, so y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. And we finna see. We finna see if he gonna get out, y'all. I'm finna go over here to this handy dandy news channel and see what they talking about live, child. Cause I know just a minute ago, child, it was a mess. Oh, it was a mess. Who saw it? Tisa. Shout out to Armand Wiggins. Armand Wiggins had went live from the courthouse and I eat. When I tell y'all they was doing a foodie wine out there. They was tripping with Tisa. Calling Tisa all kinds of liars and stuff like that. And I'm like, why they doing this lady like that? Like, it was a mess, y'all. It was other YouTubers. Cussing and fussing. Hold on. Let me see, y'all. It looks like his kids is back. They back. They walking in the courtroom. The twins right now. Right now. Let me see. So the twins, they walking in the courtroom, y'all. We finna find out if Diddy getting out today. That's crazy. I know people that's kind of scared. I know some people kind of scared. Now 50 Cent talking about he a bad man. He beat a Rico. He a bad man. But 50, I already beat you to the punch. I said it about a week ago. I was like, I'm gonna be the first to say it. He's a bad boy for real. Give him his credit. Give him his card. Like, that's his brand. He told you he was a bad boy. You see? Bad boys for life. So, I could just hear him come on playing that we ain't going nowhere. Hey, we ain't going nowhere. And we can't be stopped now. Cause it's bad boy for life. Hey, child, y'all know his son gonna play that for his daddy. Walking through the door. You see? Child, I know his son ready to do that little hopping shit he do right now with his daddy. You see? So shout out to that, baby. He want his twin out. And we finna see. We gonna see if the judge gonna let him out. The judge act like he wanna let him out. Diddy, I mean, this judge was down the middle a lot, you know? Like he would do a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying, on Diddy's you know, in it to his favor, I would say. But I think it was because he was like, I ain't trying to get caught up in this, you know? Like, I ain't trying to get caught up in it. Media is crazy, y'all. Media is crazy on 500 Pearl Street. Right now, y'all know that's the address of the courthouse. I might not never forget 500 Pearl. Pearl and Baxter. I'm looking at the light pole right now. Street sign. It's Pearl Street and Baxter. Okay. Might not never forget that messing with Diddy. Let me tell y'all. This is crazy. This man down there beat the feds today. How'd he do it? Your guess is as good as mine. All I could think of is the Like I said, them people they didn't want to do Diddy like that. It just is what it is. Them people didn't want to do Diddy like that. If you ask me, yes, Pooper Star, Shaw is they ruled him not guilty down there on all that big stuff. You see, all that big stuff. If you ask me, some of them people in the jury, they did some stuff that they could live with. That might be true. That just might be true. You know, it was like they did a little bit to make everybody happy. You know what I'm saying? Almost like they didn't want to disappoint the prosecution, so they gave here you go, one guilty. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. I believe that. Black Queen said he had too much dirt. He got too much dirt on Hollywood. And y'all know what? Y'all stand by. We waiting to see if Diddy finna get out though. If he gonna be released. They finna tell us. The judge said by 1 o'clock he was gonna tell us if he gonna let Diddy out. Y'all want me my prediction? My prediction is he letting Diddy out. It just is what it is. I think he gonna let him out. He been doing, being cool with him thus far. Real cool. Every step I take. Not y'all singing Diddy stuff in the chat. Shout out to that. I love it. I don't know. I really don't know what to say. Because you still got Trump. You still got Trump laying in the cut. And I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Trump pardoning Diddy is a real thing to me. It just is what it is. I believe it. In my hearts of our hearts, I believe like that's what's going to happen here. And I take it a step further. Y'all remember the psychic lady? I hate to bring that up, but it is what it is. I'm going to bring her up right now. You see, because it seemed like a good time. According to the psychic lady, Diddy ain't going to do no time. If you believe what she said. So that's that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. What if he, he might not? I feel like, what if he gets pardoned by Trump? That would be crazy. But yeah, y'all stay tuned. We're about to find out if Diddy going home today or not. Diddy wants to go home today. I feel him. And I feel that. See, that's the thing. It seemed like I feel like Diddy's team was prepared for him to go home today, possibly. But I don't feel like the prosecution was, because the prosecution was supposed to have which I didn't even know it go like this, but I'm learning. You see, I'm learning stuff every day. They're like, if there's a case that was like Diddy's or similar to Diddy's, the prosecution can have that and give it to the judge. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this person was just like Diddy, but they wasn't able to go home. And the judge can study it and go off of it. And I feel like use it ultimately, you know what I'm saying? To help him with his decision. But the prosecution didn't have it. She didn't have it. So ultimately, I think like that little break is what he sent them out to, go figure it out. Go figure it out. Because I'm going to have to, rule on this. And I'm thinking that like, I don't know. Like, my guess is if he denies Diddy bond, he got to have a good reasoning. damn good reasoning to. Other than that, you know. But his attorneys is arguing. He don't have his plane. You see? Let him have. His attorneys was prepared. They was prepared. Um Diddy probably asked all that. So if I'm like, at which one of these can I go home? They probably told him, you know? Because I can tell you right now, his attorney said he's found not guilty on the S trafficking. That makes me, and the RICO. So that makes me think that, like, if he would have got convicted of S trafficking, he wouldn't be able to go home today, probably. You know? But the charge that he was convicted of, they feel like that is so small and so misdemeanor. Let him go home until he prepares for sentencing, which is crazy. You know, sentencing is 3 months away. That's a long time. That's a long time to do a lot. I'll tell you one thing. That's enough time to do a freak out tonight. You see? I sure hope not. But he could. He very well could if he wanted to. Because y'all done basically told him it's not against the law either. Child, look. My guess is he probably got Paul on standby. And the Cowboys for Angel on speed dial. Like not to mention, KK probably ain't going to jail no more. You know, it just depends. Like I don't know. I feel like they needed Diddy to be convicted for KK to, you know what I'm saying, get in trouble. I think she off the hook now. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. He never forced anyone to do anything. They were all willing to listen. They problem is that might be true. But I will say this. They problem is they didn't have no evidence. They needed evidence. It just is what it is. Just like you said. No evidence. No evidence, it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? If it was no evidence of it, it didn't happen. And like they crazy. They just straight looked at that Cassie video and was like, they didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't care, you know? And then let me just say this though, too. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, while we wait, Justin in the court back at the courthouse. Child, it seems like they just keep bringing more and more people with them. Like, come see my daddy. He in the courtroom right here. He gonna be in here. He ain't going nowhere. Come holler at him. Come show your face. But anyway, we finna find out if Diddy finna leave. That's crazy too. The fact that he could walk out of the courtroom is crazy. I didn't know they, I thought they had it was more processing to it than that. Like, even the judge kind of seemed shocked a little bit when he was like, are you proposing that he walk out of here now? And the lawyer was like, yes. How wouldn't they, how wouldn't they be prepared for that? Like, they should have saw that coming. Sure, all them high profile attorneys up in there. But y'all stay tuned. We finna find out if Diddy going home today. If he going home. Child, to Star Island in Miami. This is wild. Not guilty. That boy beat the feds. That boy beat the feds. That boy good. You see? That boy beat the feds, y'all. That is crazy. You see? That's why I kind of hate when people go to talking about what. You see? It's too many people talking about what ain't never been done. Like it can't be done. So shout out to that. Yeah. I said Diddy and his attorneys, his powerhouse attorneys, they beat that with a bat. It is what it is. I said, shit. I can hear Michael Jackson now talking about who's bad. Baby, they bad. It is what it is. He done beat the feds, beat a Rico. Now I will say this though. Diddy Rico case was so weak. Yeah. Shout out to that. It was weak. It was weaker than weak. A whole 7 days. Weak. That's what it was. It just is what it is. You know? And that's why I said. His attorneys probably told him, oh, we beating this. You know what I'm saying? Trust us. We beating this. You just got to trust us. It is what it is. That's why I tell you, when your attorneys tell you something, you got to believe them. For real, for real. I think it was weak. I know it was weak. Because the truth of the matter is, when you get that evidence, and it's evident, you see, the jury can't do nothing but come back with them charges. Like, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. The feds left a little wiggle room, and guess what they did? They ran right through it. You see, it just is what it is. They ran right through it. And again, I think he was able to beat it because I don't think the punishment fits the crime. I mean, ultimately, we talking about somebody that, you know, is being accused of, you know, what he being accused of. Because again, y'all, again, I gotta say this again and again and again. You know, it's always people coming through. Yeah, like her said, you should come through. Period. So shout out to that. A lot of people don't look at these women like they was as trafficked, y'all. Now, I do. You know, me on the other hand, I do. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand like, I just understand the full scope of what he did being wrong. You see? It just is what it is. Like I said, to me, Diddy can't do that. Like, them was not his girlfriends for real. They wasn't. They was not his girlfriends for real. So, somebody said they don't. They feel like they wanted it. I don't. You see? But anyway, at the end of the day, like, you can't offer somebody else's body to somebody else. And I take it a step further. You can't be so controlling that somebody is afraid to tell you no. I mean, like, can you imagine that? Like, for real, for real. All of y'all who watching, imagine that right now. Imagine somebody wanting to have the S word, and you not being able to say no. That's crazy. That's crazy. The thought of that is crazy. You see? And it's not so much that they couldn't say no, because they could, right? I mean, they will risk the fact of getting kicked to the curb. You see, it's just that they didn't. You know what I'm saying? They barely said no. That was a problem for the prosecutors. You know what I'm saying? That was a problem for the prosecutors. But ultimately, Imagine that. Imagine not having control over your body to the point where somebody tell you weekend tonight and you just gotta go with the flow. Can you imagine that? Like, I can't imagine that. And that's why I said, um, to me, like that portion of it makes it illegal to me. You just can't. That's crazy though, y'all. I just don't understand that. Like, imagine not having no control over your body, because they didn't have no control over their bodies for real, because they never told this man no. So imagine cramping, having a migraine. Shoot, in my situation, man, my body been hurting. I can't. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Like, I can't. I can't. I just, like, the thought of that alone makes me want to puke. I mean, it is what it is. The thought of that alone makes me want to puke. Makes me look at Diddy different, you know, and makes me view the women as victims. It just is what it is. Like, that being said, I just view them as such. I do. Like, that was enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that thought alone is enough for me to feel like, yeah, they was victims. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Um, willing. They was willing. It is what it is. They played along. At any given day, they could have said, I woke up and said, I'm not doing this no more. And I think that's why he wasn't convicted. You know, there's a difference. The average victim can't say that. The average victim is being held. The average victim um is in bondage. Well, like, they don't have the opportunity to just stop when they want to, how they want to. These women could have just stopped any given time whenever they wanted to. So I think that's why he wasn't convicted. But at the end of the day, they was. To me, they were victims. They were. They were victims. Excuse me, according to me. You know what I'm saying? And they were victimized. It just is what it is. He took advantage of them. Under no circumstance, they didn't have control over their bodies. It just is what it is. If he told them we doing a freak off on Sunday, they was doing a freak off on Sunday. Like, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? To me, that alone makes them a victim. Let me get to your comments. When I saw the liquor commercial, I knew Diddy was getting off. It's crazy you said that, because I feel like I saw one too. That's crazy. Hmm. That's crazy. You said that. Well, I kind of felt like he was getting off yesterday after we saw Gina too. Yeah, shout out to that. I did. Yeah, I thought I saw a Delion commercial too just recently, so that's why. I ain't never had that. I ain't never had that. Y'all drop in my comments and let me know if y'all done had it before. But anyway, we waiting to see, child. We still waiting. It's a waiting game right here. At the end of the day, y'all let me know, is he getting out? Black Queen, is he getting out? Let me know. Is he getting out today? I tell you one thing, if he do get out today, it don't matter whether he do get out or he don't get out. I only see it one time, and that was recently. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, Whether he do or he don't get out, I feel like Diddy is gonna start working on a pardon. Diddy somewhere laughing. I don't think he's laughing. I don't. I think that even though he's happy, cocky too, I do think that like when he get home, them kids gonna see a different side of him. That's just what I think. My bad. It just is what it is, y'all. In my hearts of our hearts, I feel like there's no way that he could go through what he went through, right, and still be the same. No, I think just a little bit. He humble. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be humbled just a little bit. I also think that he probably gonna treat people better too. You know what I'm saying? But I think them kids gonna definitely recognize a difference in Diddy. I don't think he finna be the way he was. I think he's going to be more famous than he ever was. Wow. That could be true. That could be true. He could blow up. Yeah, he could. Um, Cause I feel like he got we all know he got the means to be here, there, everywhere. While a lot of people keep saying that they don't feel like brands are gonna mess with him. I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if I believe it. Cause I can tell you one thing that I can tell. Diddy got a lot of people in his pocket. Yeah, shout out to that Diddy. Or yeah, he got a lot of people in his pocket. Uh, mm, like you could tell. You could tell the blogs and all of that. Cause I've been paying attention. You see, y'all know one thing about me, I don't miss nothing. I don't miss a thing. You see? And one thing I've been noticing about this whole Diddy stuff is some of these blogs don't post nothing negative about Diddy. Nothing. Only good. You know what I'm saying? If you watch them, if you watch how they moving and stuff like that. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I'm interested to see what happens to this man from here. Yeah, he got connections, big connections. Diddy is heavily connected. It is what it is. The thing is, jail wasn't even gonna change that. I guess it could a little bit, but like now. I feel like it was just a matter of time before, what I'm saying, he started using them in jail. I got about 20 something minutes and then I gotta ride. It is what it is. But I want to find out with y'all. Yeah, shout out to that. I want to find out what my pooper stars, because we here now. Day 35. Like, we here now. This is the end. That's crazy. We made it to the end, my friend. So shout out to that. Yeah, it's crazy to see what's gonna happen with Diddy. Now, one thing that I've been meaning to tell y'all that I keep forgetting about, I keep forgetting about, forgetting about, is how many of y'all remember a long time ago, Tasha K did a interview. I'll never forget this interview. Like, some stuff, you know how some stuff just stick with you? Shout out to that. That's one of them things. Tasha K did an interview a long time ago about this man that basically said that he was used by this older woman in the industry. He was saying that like she used him and groomed him, okay, for Wycliffe. That's what he said. You see, that's what he said in the interview. How many of y'all saw that interview? Y'all drop in my comments and let me know if y'all seen that interview. That was a damn good interview. But let me tell y'all why I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up today because in that interview, he basically told Tasha K that like he be having the S word in front of strangers. Yeah, he did. He said that she used him. You know what I'm saying? She used him. And then, like, a lot of high power people, I think, I want to say she said men, but I just changed it to people instead because I don't remember if it was all men. You know what I'm saying? But I do remember him being afraid to name some of them. And then I thought about it. I was like, probably Diddy. Diddy was probably one of them. And that's probably where all of this got started or something like that. Like, I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet. How much I want to bet? Like, I forgot the name of the lady. I might have to go back through Tasha K stuff and see if I can find an interview. But like, she is an older lady. I thought her name was Heather, but I couldn't find her nowhere. I cannot think of her name. But after the interview aired, I went looking for her and everything. I went all up and down her page trying to see if I could like figure out who she linked to. Tasha K told the man, I remember, I never forget. Tasha K told the man that maybe she was just like a high price, you know what I'm saying, and selling it. Selling it? Because I can't remember. I think she would do something with the men too. I think she would. I think she would mess with the clients too. So Tasha just asked the man, have you ever just maybe thought to yourself, maybe she just a, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, long story short though, she's an older woman, old school, been around for a long time. Long story short, ain't no telling who didn't came through her place and watched her have the S word, sex. And I feel like Diddy probably was one of them. Or, you know, like maybe it got back to him or something like that. That old Hollywood stuff, you see? Child, they out and got themselves caught up in this Hollywood stupid, nasty, freaky stuff they be on. Child, just weird, you see? Just weirdos. And it was a lot of crimes being committed by Diddy, and he did do a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying, that was criminal. But child, they letting them walk. It is what it is. They letting them walk, and that's why I said, like, let me tell y'all something. Your girl Shay Renee, you see, I just, you know, not a lot of faith in men, more in him. You see, like, whatever. You know, I always say, no matter what, God, you know, I know you in control. I just get this to you. You see, because you just, the truth of the matter is, people gonna let you down. You know, they do. People are going to let you down. So, yeah, I feel like the jury let some people down. You know, just who, you know what I'm saying? That's up for debate. They definitely let some people down. You know, depending on who you ask. Shoot. But shit, I take it a step further. They let Diddy down too. You know, it is what it is. Because I thought about it. I was like, well, you know, they could have just found them not guilty for every single thing. Yeah, Miss Preston Curl, they could have did you like that. They could have did them like that, child, but they didn't. You know, I felt like they was like, no, 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 no. You know, they found them guilty or something. That's why I said, to me, if you ask me, it seemed like the jury was just like trying to make everybody a little happy. You know, that's what it seems like. It seems like they did not want to find him guilty of everything and then find him not guilty of everything. You see, like all of y'all gonna go home a winner in a sense. And then all of y'all gonna go home a loser, you know, in a sense. But like I feel like they did what they could live with. You know, what they feel like they could go home. I feel like a lot of them made a decision that they can live with and something they can go home and go to sleep with at night, you know. And it just is what it is. At the end of the day, that's a lot to ask for somebody. For somebody to, because at the end of the day, no, the jury does not do the sentencing, y'all. They don't. But they still play some type of part, So to know that, like, you the reason why somebody got life or 50 years or, time, like, that they can't even really do because they'll never come home again. It's like, I feel like that's a lot. That's a lot to put on the average person, somebody that just woke up one day. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden you handing them some paperwork calling them a juror. Well, hell, just yesterday I was Shay Renee. You see? Yeah, now I'm a juror. It's just, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a lot. Okay, what do I say? I feel like that is a hell of a lot. Okay? To just put on a stranger. That's what I said. The court system, it needs what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it needs updating. It is what it is. Like, I wouldn't mind if they updated a little bit and tweaked a little something. Like, to me, get y'all some people that know law into the jury. If it's 12 jurors, then let 3 of them be people that know the law. Let 3 of them be a retired judge. Let 3 of them be a law student. Let 3 of them be lawyers. Something like that. Versus these regular people that y'all just keep throwing in here that don't know nothing about nothing. I think that's weird too. It just is what it is. I think that's weird too. And I tell y'all all the time, one thing about me, I'm going to speak up. It just is what it is. I'm going to speak the hell up. So shout out to that. I told y'all that. You got some people that just go with the flow. And then you got some people who be like, wait a minute. I'm finna say something. I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the say something crew. I'm from the say something, let's get it crew. So it is what it is. Shout out to that. But these people basically got 20 minutes. They got 20 minutes before I got to ride and glide and get on with it. My head kind of starting to hurt a little bit. Why? I do not know. Child, probably the wig. Probably the wig and the hat combo, you see. Mm-hmm. Oh, like a number 1 with cheese. I said it's a combo. So anyway, what else is going on? Child, Diddy might be let out to go have him a freak off tonight. That's crazy. I said that's crazy. Excuse me, he probably got piled on standby. Yeah, let's keep it real. Because at this point, I don't think he bold enough to contact the Cowboys and Angel people just yet. I don't. Not, at least not tonight. You see. But I feel like, if he knows somebody he can call, he just might call them. Like the Ghostbusters said. And that's a mess. See, that's a mess. Like, I thought when they let Diddy out, when Diddy did finally get out, he was going to be over freak offs. He need to. He need to be. Just depending on who you ask, and that's me. But, like, obviously, these people don't feel like he need none of that. None of that. So, wow. I'm like, wow. How is Diddy not Like, how is he not a threat to society or to the community? That's crazy. Like, just to know that, like, he could do it all over again to 2 more women, 3 more women, 4 more women, 5 more women. Like, that's scary to me. You know, it just is what it is. That's scary to me. More women subjected to the S word with strangers. However, whenever. That's crazy to me. You know? But they didn't make it clear. You see, they just didn't make it clear. At this point, is it illegal? Is it illegal? Because he going home. Ooh. This man is about to go home. At least for 3 months. So that's crazy. That's crazy, y'all. Um, so yeah, anyway, we just waiting on the update. We waiting on the update to see what they gonna do. If they gonna let Diddy walk, they gonna let him, um, do the rise and rip walk or the B walk up out of there. You know, it just is what it is, child. We waiting. Um, and I know he can't wait. Oh, I know he can't wait. This is crazy. I know, like, his stomach is like. But again, I feel like Diddy ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, his thoughts ain't our thoughts. Because his attorneys is telling him, like, listen, these are the reasons you're gonna end up getting out, or these are the reasons. This is the only thing that could stop you from getting out today. You know what I'm saying? Like, he more informed than we are. And the truth of the matter is, I think that I think they kind of running out of reasons to keep him. Which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy too. Because, like, before the trial, he couldn't get bail because of different reasons. Him being a flight risk, and him being afraid to, like, mess with the witnesses. Okay. So now the case is over. Y'all don't care nothing about the witnesses? Like, weird. It's getting weird. Make it make sense a little bit. I'm gonna need y'all to make that make sense. You see? Take the what and leave the what. So now y'all don't care. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't care that he could go home and mess with the people. Yeah. Oh, y'all only needed the witnesses intact for the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make no sense. Like, to me, those same reasons. I forgot though. Witness tampering. That's what it's called. Witness tampering. So they didn't want him to get to the witnesses to control the case, not necessarily harm them in any kind of way. Okay. Okay. That makes sense then. But yeah, child, they about to see if he about to get bail today. I know his children is happy. Oh, I know his kids happy. Like, for real said. I know they probably done started making plans, kinda, sorta. Kinda, sorta, you know what I'm saying? But, like, not too much, because they don't know what the hell he finna get out and want to do, you see? Yeah, because you see? One thing about Diddy, I feel like he run all of that. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I do feel like he probably gonna be let out. I do. I think they possibly don't have a good enough argument. Prosecution probably don't have a good enough argument to keep him. So he probably gonna get out until October. Which I know he glad. But that's crazy. You know, come October, I think it's gonna be scared. I mean, I think he gonna be like dragging his feet. That's why I told y'all I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I think Diddy working on a party. He finna already start working on that party. Cause I don't care what nobody say. I don't think Diddy wanna do no time. Especially not the kind of time that the feds want him to do. You see? Um I feel like the feds want him to do no less than 5 years straight. I don't think Diddy's trying to do that kind of time. Now, some state time, I think he got it in him. You know, like 2 years. You know, some 2 years. You know, I feel like he'll tell him, shit, I'm ready to do that today. You know, like, never mind. Tell my kids go head on. You see, yeah. Now I'm in it for the back time. You know, but like, ultimately, and now we just waiting, y'all. It's a waiting game. Now I'm trying to see. Now y'all know I will update y'all. I'll make a post. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't necessarily gotta be live. I'll make a post to tell y'all. Breaking news. Diddy going home. Mm. He going home. Fresh out for beating the feds. Speaking of which, that boy didn't beat the feds. How long they gonna be watching him, I wonder? And like, how long can they watch him? Is it over? Is the investigation still active? If he go home and get on the phone so they listening, child, I got so many questions, you see. It just is what it is. And as far as KK goes, I think KK might be off the hook. I'm wondering. I just wonder, is she off the hook? I think KK is off the hook. Honestly, I think Diddy had to have got convicted of the RICO. For KK to be in trouble, D-Rock, any of them. I think all of them are good now. They somewhere celebrating. You know, like Diddy about to go home and do. But I will say this, though. 50 Cent did all of that. But then 50 Cent did predict that Diddy was going to do 20 years, get 20 years. So that's crazy. That is. Because that's exactly what the prosecutor said she was going for. That's crazy. I said, ooh, Miss Preston Curl is... She a little irritated. You see? She let it be... Hold on, y'all. Hold on. The prosecutor let it be known. What she say? Like, I'm going for 20. Twomp! 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 Shout out to that. She said she want 20 years up out your Diddy. And get what? Get what? It ain't funny, but it's funny. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's funny, you know? It's not funny because, you know, it's not for lots of different reasons. But it is funny because I feel like she mad. You know what I'm saying? She mad. I feel like she mad, but I also feel like she was trying to remind Diddy, like, Ninja, listen, yeah. Well, but you, I feel like she was like, yeah, but I'm going for the max. Yeah, I'm trying to max you out, though. So you might have, you see, you go ahead and celebrate now, Miss Presser Curl. But just know, You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just wait right there. Because I'm coming for you. Mm. That's what the prosecution has said. Basically. Because she didn't waste no time. She didn't waste no time letting the judge know, oh, I'm going for 20 years. You see? Mm. You know? But I feel like same thing gonna happen. I feel like the same thing gonna happen. It's what the judge says. You know what I'm saying? It's what the judge says. You know, like if the judge say, first of all, the prosecution, she can go for 20 all day long. That don't mean she gonna get it. Yeah. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never get it. You see? Yeah, that's what Diddy's attorneys can start singing up in the bed. Yeah, if they wanted to. Because the truth of the matter is she that's what she could want, that's what she could request, that's what she could go for all day long, you see. But I don't think she gonna get it. It's up to the judge. So just like the jurors, you see, intercepted their plans. Yeah, it caught that. Yeah, see what you did was you thought. Okay, you thought you was finna prosecute him on 5 charges. No, ma'am. You see, sit down. We only doing 2. Just like the jury did that, the judge can do that too. You know what I'm saying? So she could go for 20 years, and then the judge could be like, but no, I'm gonna give him 8. You know. Or I'm gonna give him 7, or I'm gonna give him 5, or I'm gonna give him 2, or I'm gonna give him 10. You know, like whatever the judge decides, and like, yeah. Just like I was ready and waiting today, I'll be ready and waiting to see what they gonna do in October. You know, it just is what it is. That's if Trump don't step in. You know, they still got Trump. You know, which is possible. It's possible. It's possible, y'all. Trump could step in and be like, pardon. He ain't going nowhere. Leave him alone. You see? Turn him loose. And like, honestly, ever since Trump started doing his pardons, like, yeah, I've been like, because before Trump did his pardons, I was 100% locked in on this case. Once Trump pardons came about, I was like, more like 90. You know what I'm saying? More so giving it 90 now. Because I'm like, wait a minute. He could come knock all of this over. You see? Trump can make it happen. And that's crazy to me. That is so crazy. But anyway, like the song said, this is America. Okay. So anyway, Poopa Stars, I gotta roll. I'm unable to sit with y'all and see if Diddy gonna get out today. But best believe, I'm still tuned in. When the news come out, I'm gonna get it for sure. I'm gonna be one of the first people with it. Yeah, because I'm here, there, everywhere to get the tea. Y'all know that. And so, like, when I do find out, I'm going to let y'all know, okay? And 9 times out of 10, I already been live twice today, so it'll probably be a post. Okay, so y'all stay tuned for that. I had a funky good time with y'all. I love you all. Don't forget I love y'all for loving me. I'll see y'all on my next video. Bye.